What they're fighting for now is catching up to Wodar, probably for the right to play Yeesh in the gold finals. That's how it's looking. Now, we're only about halfway through for gold. There's a lot of time left, and there's a lot of counterplay. A lot of people are really good at beating you the first time, but once they've seen what you got, especially Yisu, we saw had some tricks up his sleeves, then those tricks are revealed, and you got to come up with some new material. So the second half of the season can be very different than the first. But obviously, Yish in a commanding position. Wodar showing his first vulnerability of the year, which means the winner of this match, Lazybear and OpiWrites, will be in position to maybe catch Wodar for that second spot.
All right, here, let me get set up here.
Yeah, and OpiWrites obviously brand new to SCL, jumped all the way up to gold from placements, and it's a big vote of confidence. At first, looked like maybe a little over-promoted, lost a couple early matches, but he's won some since, and he's kind of just going about 50-50 here, kind of in the middle there of gold right there. But if he can score a win against Lazybear, suddenly he is a real threat in the second half of the season to make it to the finals.
All right, and just about there. All right, I got picks and bands up. Let me go to that now. Right.
Oh my god, you saying that the highlight on Smallman on Gallery was a no talk.
So you know what? Yeesh did that the last time we cast him, do you remember? All that craziness with the time ads on library and the lowlights and the highlights, that was another phantom no talk. Listen, I say it all the time. Game knowledge is a blessing, but it's a curse too. You will notice or think you notice all sorts of little things that have not actually happened.
All right, here we go. I got the picks and bands ready. Starting off, OpiWrites band Modern.
Okay.
Lazybear band Ballroom, an interesting band.
Yeah, he banned it 7 times in season 4. He does
all right,
not
somebody
care for
does
ballroom.
not like Ballroom. All right.
Yeah,
that is fair. I can respect that. The first pick, ooh, we're gonna get some more doubled Courtyard.
Okay.
Sure, why not? All right.
And then a very interesting pick from Lazybear. Well, may not be interesting. Winning track can tell us if a Terrace pick is surprising or not.
Not surprising, interesting for sure, right? Because hey, it's Terrace.
Yeah.
But he did pick it 3 times last season.
Right.
He had a big spread. He picked Pub 5 times, Terrace 3 times, Courtyard 3 times, Gallery 2 times. So kind of all over the place, but obviously Terrace in the mix for Lazybear in season 2.
All right, and somewhat surprisingly, this is the first time we'll be potentially seeing Library today.
Oh wow! Okay.
Usually we have gotten to it much sooner than that.
Yeah, usually we get to it immediately. Lazybear did not play it much last season.
Yeah, and anyway, the final pick shall be Gallery. This is
More Gallery.
Very gallery heavy cast today.
It's an artistic cast, yes.
Yes. Though none of us know much of anything about art. Nice.
My wife is an art history major, and so everything I know I have learned accidentally from living with her.
Yep, that's all the art I know is the stuff I've learned to make these overlays, pretty much.
Well, they're gorgeous, Kletos.
Thank you. All right, and let's set it up here. All right, I'm just about ready to go. Tubbo, would you like to take over?
Absolutely. Opening up the match on Courtyard with Lazybear stepping into the spy side of things to open things up. OpiWrites on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, this isn't the best venue for it, but Lazybear, of the hardtails, prefers Purloin far more than the others. Several times more than Microfilm or Bug or Swap. In fact, he Purloins more often than all 3 of those combined in Season 4.
That is basically a perfect window flirt for 49%, making things as inconspicuous as possible while still setting up for the 2 flirt.
Yeah, and keep an eye out on early fingerprints here. Lazybear likes to fingerprint a lot.
Might be able to join the seduction target at the statues, and it looks like that's exactly what we're doing here. This could be a lot of progress. Isn't able to hit the green though, so it's caught at 83. We're only able to get the 1 inspect from it as well. I'm surprised he only stayed there 1 cycle.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons, by the way, I mentioned earlier Lazybear doesn't do a lot of those hardtails. It's because he also just doesn't necessarily complete missions a lot and doesn't try to. He gets Civ shot. In Season 4, he got Civ shot at an almost 32% rate, which is really high.
Oh no, the path on the way in got caught off the pad. OpiWrites wasn't happy about it, but there's no shot yet. There's the statues being finished and inspected. And you have to admit that statue-to-statue business is not a very spy-like maneuver, especially when the first one is a one cycle.
No, and I know from personal experience that the key with Opie is getting a lot of progress done before he's onto you. That's true of a lot of the newer snipers that have gotten good so fast. So the fact that he's onto Lazybear already bodes very poorly for him.
Indeed it does. Another bit of a weird path on the way into the window there. Minute and 20 left to play. It's not looking good for the bear.
No, but it is looking exactly like a Lazybear game. If you measure clock usage, how much of the time you start with do you end up using on average? Lazybear uses 93% of his clock. That is the 6th highest of anyone in Season 4.
Contact comes off. Double Agent steps away. We are now under a minute. "45 seconds now. There is now a fingerprint hot on that statue.
It's got to be tempting.
Going for briefcase. Time is too short. 30 seconds. Different statue visit.
I mean, I guess it's going to be green swap into flirt.
I think it has to be. We do hit the green swap.
I kind of like it. I like it because you figure the swap's not going on, and when it does go off, you're doing the other mission. It's still very risky, but I kind of like banking on the green swap and going for the flirt sometimes.
I think so too, but it's going to be a significant overtime. 5 seconds and still
Opie's
no
staring at
swap.
this. He's staring at this
2,
fade.
1. There it hangs at 0. The fade goes. So does the shot. And OpiWrites starts things off on the win from the sniper side.
I'm not even sure if he saw the fade. He was just sitting on that the whole time. That game was kind of over before it started.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very strong showing on the sniper from Opie. Let's see if you can do the same on the spy side. In 3, 2, 1, play it.
I just realized we're in the final match of the night, and it's only 9:10 here.
Yeah, I know! Like,
Two
yes,
live matches. Yeah.
Live games have the potential to go fast, but that was absurd.
Well, yeah, we played 17 total games across both of them.
Opie in conversation with the double agent to open the match. Lots of activity in the conversations, but the suspected double agent wasn't in conversation. One of the only people who were out.
That hurts a lot. The interesting thing is, does Lazybear take advantage of that little bit of luck and narrow the party down a lot with real BBers? He's either doing it mentally or he's not doing it at all because we don't see any indication from the highlights.
Yeah. I don't think he was able to get much information from that at all. One low light.
And he's staring at the purloin, which is funny because it makes me think it's one of those things where it's like, well, if I do a mission a lot, I'm more suspicious of it in general, too.
Yeah, that's true. Although missing a purloin on Courtyard.
Yeah.
hurts.
But it's interesting how much of the game is about empathy like that. Sometimes you think something's suspicious because it's the kind of thing you would do if you were the spy, which is not the same thing as what something your opponent might do.
First flirt comes off at the 2-minute mark. Close white for 34%. Not a whole lot of progress here in this game.
No, but still plenty of options. And yeah, once you go to inspects like this, if you go and get one more flirt, suddenly you're in the standard Courtyard conundrum of you basically have 2 or 2.75 missions done, and you're trying to decide what that last scary one's going to be.
Well, now we've got a fingerprint on our hands as well, so that could be very useful moving forward. Under 1:30, but we've got a lot better of position right now as we step back in for the second floor.
Yeah, now we want to get our hands on the ambassador's hands.
Yes.
And maybe
That
the
is
ambassador's
actually-
booty.
Yeah, I was going to say that might work too, but I really wish that there were just an option to walk up to the ambassador and just shake their hand.
Well, we're never going to find out because OpiWrites got shot in the face.
Yep, and did it with just a fingerprint and a seduce. That's all it took. Lazybear all over it.
Man, that's some impressive business.
But it was a lot of aggressive spy play, a lot of moving around, a quick talk after there. Opie is, if you've studied him at all, a very aggressive spy. So if you are specifically looking for that kind of stuff, it's going to stand out. And I think it might have there for Lazybear.
That is very true, but that is the kind of shot that can really ripple throughout the set. Deal a blow to a spy's confidence. Let's see if Lazybear is able to capitalize from the spy side of things. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Don't call it mind games. It's Orange Sorry again. Probably not deliberately.
Probably not.
I hope not.
And now we have a counter for it. Wonderful.
Of course. Of course. We had a Smallman counter, and I was really worried we were going to break it. And I figure once it gets to 8, you should just turn that 8 sideways, because that's where it's headed.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Green flirt to open up the game from Lazybear for 38% at a distance. Not bad start, though.
I mean, it's bad in the sense that it's predictable, but it doesn't look like the normal predictable flirt, so that's
It's
something.
not going to get you flirt paired with anybody, and it's still in 3 flirt range. I like how this is going. Fake contact. 2 low lights. That is not
Really
bad
good.
at all. One of them was highlight for probably an early statue visit, but man, for an early fake contact, you'll take
Yeah.
that.
So here's the problem. If you're the sniper in this scenario, you see how good that banana bread is. It's got to be that much more tempting to low light for fakes and or highlight for the possible reels, because otherwise you're basically saying they got that mission for free.
Second flirt comes off. Another green brings it up to 77%, and we're picking up a fingerprint off the briefcase in the interim.
And Lazybear's spending a lot of time off camera right now. Opie is circling this ambassador so hard, which again is really interesting because Lazybear does not bug that often. Now, he is watching possibly the guest list too, but it really seems to be centered more around the Amba, and Lazybear, unfortunately, is on the other side doing things.
That was a very interesting little maneuver at the statues, going into an occupied pad and then stepping away again. That's the kind of thing. Lazybear's doing a lot of stuff you don't normally see spies do, and it's enough to get a civilian shot.
Wow. Well, I mean, Wheels was bumping around a lot, and there was an awkward little moment where he looked like he wanted to bug and kind of bumped near the ambassador and then sort of repositioned himself. And it really looked like a spy doing that thing where they misjudge Wheels' hitbox. It looked a lot like that. And then you see him go immediately from Inspecs into a briefcase. At that point, you start to get a little bit paranoid. But as we know, Lazybear nowhere close to finishing.
I really like how Lazybear was playing that game. That was some cool stuff.
Like I said, 6th highest clock usage. He bides his time and tests you and gives the party a chance to do something.
And this time, it certainly works out for him, as OpiWrites needs a spy win on Courtyard to keep things level. Let's see if he can make it happen after that last one in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Fun little fact about clock usage, by the way. 2 players last season had more than 100% clock usage, which is only possible. That means time ads. They used more time than they were allotted overall at the start of the season.
That is impressive.
Yes. And at least one of them, you might be able to guess.
Opening the game right next to the ambassador, but isn't able to make any cheeky bugs happen off of it. Now he's in a conversation he doesn't care to be in.
Yeah, there's just no progress here, and that's not going to last for long because, as I mentioned, Opie likes to get things done, and I feel like you normally want to get things done after a tough loss or when you're behind too. It's hard to play a slow, deliberate, or frame-based game when you're losing.
Red test flirt! No!
Cleto said earlier that technically the worst flirt is not 17%. That's the worst flirt right there, I think is what he meant.
Yeah.
That is what I was gonna say, but things happened in that game.
There was a lot of craziness, yeah, unfortunately. I mean, it's really tough. You got to time your quips to when the spies aren't doing absolutely insane
the
stuff.
timing of that bug was incredible! Just as Lazybear slipped over, the angle was exactly wrong as he rotated over, and Opie
Case in point. Case in point. Yeah, that is. You're right. I mean, I'm looking right at it, and it's borderline invisible from the sniper's rotation. And now Opie has to feel emboldened. You only have 90 seconds left. You got to get moving.
Banana bread.
Absolutely.
What is
Fake
this?
contact. What is This is a very different kind of moving. I am confused and
Okay.
concerned.
My best guess is that he's actually worried he's a suspect for that, and the fake is designed to throw some of that off.
Could
But
be.
we know-
Fortunately, Tex is the only person who could have done a real BB there.
Oh, that's brutal, and he's low
Minute
now.
and 10, first flirt, 34%.
You got to time out, and you got to do it soon if you're trying to finish. And if you got away with the bug, you are going to try to finish because it leaves no trace. I think the problem is Opie doesn't understand how clean that probably was.
Absolutely. Now stepping into windows, here's the time ad. It is white.
This is a big moment of truth. If he gets away with this, he can still finish. If he doesn't, oh boy.
That could easily have been a routine statue highlight, but the ambassador is in here checking out statues with us. Not able to hit the difficult fingerprint, but we need ambassador to one cycle here. And he's not going to.
This is really bad. Even with that time ad, you're suddenly going to be up against the wall. But I got to be honest, Lazybear is really focusing on other people. I don't think Opie is a huge suspect.
I don't think so either, but the time is the enemy right now. Here's the contact coming off.
Inspect fingerprint? I don't know. You still got a whole minute.
If he
go
goes
right
back in the statues, though, it could be bad.
Yep, it could be. Especially if Lazybear's tracking fingerprints at all, because we know he attempted a difficult on the other one. He didn't hit it, but from the sniper's perspective, he could have if he noticed.
The shot comes off on the second statue. Is it on a fingerprint? And Lazybear takes the first map 3-1.
I think we
wasn't
needed
it
more
a-
aggression there.
That was a draw, wasn't it? Oh wait, no, wait, never mind. You're right. 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1,
Silly.
and that's pretty rough. So I think he maybe was counting the prints then, and it just looks very suspicious to go back like that. But I really think that if he rushes a little more after that bug or had more progress on the flirt, maybe didn't hit that red flirt earlier, for example, then when he gets away with that bug, he's in a real position to exploit it and finish because I still think he mostly got away with that.
Yeah, I think...
I
he
mistakenly
hits-
hit control and types. Okay, never mind. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think if he hits that flirt, I think if he doesn't go to a statue with a fingerprint on it, he might have been able to make it happen, but not in this case.
Looks like we're gonna need a bling to encounter now.
We
Oh,
are. Okay. Just as many counters as we can get as we step into Terrace with Lazybear on the spy and OpiWrites on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, play.
Can we get a counter for how many counters we have?
We need a counter.
Yes.
It's opening up with the time ad.
That's counter play.
And Terrace is a map that often flies under the radar, never really gets banned, but basically never gets picked either. Also, we can't see the game.
Yep. Well, all you missed was a time ad anyway, and look, it's risky on Terrace, but you can make a better argument for it than most, because this is largely about making sure AI is complete and forcing difficult shots onto the sniper. And they're just going to complete a lot more if you give them more time.
Indeed. There's the first flirt coming in for 45% on the green test.
And looking
Still
like bar highlights.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. Let's just put it this way. Everyone who goes to the bar gets lit.
Good. Yep.
Yep.
That was a joke that happened.
We did it.
Double Agent has arrived. So has the Ambassador. But we're not going to take a bug off of this. A little bit too exposed. The contact comes off instead.
Yeah, and the bug has to be exceptional for you to take it there because you already did the time ad. You're already sold on making sure people complete and force.
This one could be a bug, though. We've got some cover.
He had a moment where OpiWrites was far to the right while he was highlighting people, and I think it would have been free there, or at least very likely to have been gotten away with.
Wait, bug is off!
Oh, yeah.
Why is the bug off?
I don't know. That's a strange choice. I didn't even think to look because the mission setup here is usually so straightforward. Sometimes you take off inspect, sometimes you don't. Wow. Okay. That's been biting us lately, Tobo. We've been getting bitten by the bugs.
And the end of red.
But why is the bug gone?
I why is the bug gone? I don't know. The rum
Alright.
isn't though. Not look at that bar.
Yeah, we still got the rum.
We still got the rum. All rum, no bug. Makes Tobo very sad.
2 minutes left to play as we step back in for the third flirt. Not in range for an easy 3. We are going to need to hit a green test here, and indeed we do. That's 2 missions complete. with a minute and 45, a little bit more than that actually left to play.
Yeah, and I just actually don't think the AI have been as active as you'd want after that time ad. You still got time to burn there, but the party is not being quite as accommodating as you'd hope with 4 whole minutes.
This is very true. Stepping into the bar. Get highlight for the bar.
Yep.
Get delegate from the bar. And fingerprint from the bar. Contact is done. Flirt is done. 1 fingerprint in hand. We have a delegate ready to go as well with a minute left to play.
Smallman's at statues, but he's already a low light. I think he's one of the only ones. There's only been a couple here. He wants to force the ambassador out and take that briefcase, and I think Opie's going to get him for it. He's going to have a count on those fingerprints. This party has not been that hard to keep track of.
Ambassador does not drop the briefcase.
They said, okay, fine. If you're going to crowd me, I'll just take my briefcase and go.
All right, we're going to do it again.
Okay, now it's really going to stand out.
Yeah. All right, well, here's the briefcase take. Is this just a shot? Yes,
Yep.
indeed it is. Doesn't even wait for the animation to finish before he pulls the trigger.
Wow.
And OpiWrites has brought one back, 2-3.
I love how he literally just had his scope waiting for when the character stood back up and put his head into the line of fire, as in shoot me please. I'm very surprised that we didn't get more AI completes there given the time ad. That is really interesting.
All right, well, OpiWrites' turn on the spy side. Lazybear sniping to try to tie things up. This time, no swap and no inspect. A much more expected mission layout in 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, we actually have not cast that many games this year where the mission setup even mattered, and I think we've gotten a little lax about noticing it sometimes. And on Terrace, you just don't expect Bug to be off. That is so unusual.
Yeah, you just always assume Bug can be a thing because it's. Oh, that was almost incredible.
Yeah, it didn't quite take, though, but basically invisible. And yeah, look, you see Bug turned off a lot on something like Pub, where the sniper just has a really good angle, but there are a lot of vulnerable AMBA positions here. Bug is still very powerful.
First Flirt brings us 34%. We are in conversation with the double agent here as well, although there are a few people outside of conversation. It's not enough to deter the right click.
And we're going to get highlights for real, which is very close to standard, really, on Terrace. It just makes so much darn sense. And we get a couple lowlights, too. That's not bad, all things considered.
Not bad at all. Looks like we're going to timer Flirt here, see if we can pick up the second without moving. There's the cooldown done. No quick talk afterward, though. There's the Flirt. Green test brings up to 85%, which makes our final Flirt much less stressful.
Well, Opie might be a little less aggressive about Flirts after that courtyard shot.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now stepping into the bar. Looking for a delegate. I highly doubt he's going to just grab this straight up.
No, he came from Windows, so he's not framing anyone. And it's not the last mission, so you're not forcing a shot. The seduction target comes to us. That could have changed his mind at the last second, but no, still going to delegate. Yeah, there was no scenario which that really made sense as a maneuver.
Because of the seduction target coming to us, though, we're able to get that last Flirt for free for a completion that otherwise would not have been. We're 2 down, 1 to go with a minute and 15 to play.
So what's the plan? Ambassador is not in a buggable position. Who do you want to frame? It looks like
Smallman?
Smallman?
I'm thinking Smallman. Yep, it's Smallman. We're framing Smallman.
I just don't think it's going to work.
But it's Smallman.
It's Smallman. It's tough.
We shall
Smallman
see.
Smallman's better to delegate with, though, because sometimes you don't see him talk at all.
Yeah. I think I agree that I don't think this is going to happen. There's the take. Mission win cooldown.
He's not looking at the list. He's not looking.
looking at the list. I don't think he knows at all. Smallman does it again.
He just
Now
saw
he
it.
sees that the list is gone, but it's too late, and OpiWrites
Wow.
pulls it back to a 3-all game.
That's really interesting. As far as I can tell, it might have something to do with the fact that Boots sidled up next to Ambassador late. He was totally focused elsewhere. The movement of the other highlights, I think, helped. The Ambassador just felt a little too vulnerable there. Wow. Didn't even look at it. And it felt like he was angled to look at it most of the game, but then something caught his attention at the very end. Again, he has Walt, a highlight, is next to the Ambassador, and I think he's just way too worried, the seduction target, way too worried about the possibility of that bug, and it's just at exactly the wrong time.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes games turn on the smallest things.
And the smallest men.
The smallest man. There it is. I you know what? I even thought, like, Cletus is going to get this. I don't have to say anything. You got it, bud. Oh, on we go. It's tied. That is huge for Opie.
Yeah, absolutely. All tied up. Lazybear on the spy side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I said we'd have more clarity in gold after this, but if each beats Wodar and these two tie, it's still pretty muddled.
Oh boy. We already have half of that. Oh god, we got 17% on the flirt, guys. It happened.
It happened. We did
This
it.
is a real big conversation circle.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest, I think. And it's Terrace. You're still probably going to flirt. Flirt's not usually what hamstrings you here. It's fine in that. It's fine in that third mission. That's Spy Party, man. The first couple missions, those are the easy ones.
Always have been, always will be.
Bug is off again, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Why do you do this to me, Lazybear?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So, I mean, Lazybear, I mentioned clock usage, right? Doesn't complete missions at the same general rate. That's a frame-based game. And that means they really want fingerprint on, certainly. But it means they don't want to sacrifice Purloin for it. And that's what's interesting.
Fake contact. 1, maybe 2 lowlights. No, just the 1.
And I think they're probably going to sell out on this here, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Well, now stepping into the statues for the second flirt. It's a green test on it, so that brings us back up to 66. We are back in 3 flirt range after the abysmal start.
And it's a pretty standard Terrace game so far, especially for someone like Lazybear. Again, they're going to make it possible to complete late, I think, but I don't think that's the first plan.
Picks up the last flirt at the bar to finish up the mission. 1:30 left to play. 1 mission complete and 1 inspect on the table.
Terrace awfully serene tonight.
Indeed it is.
Banana bread.
There's the real contact.
And so now, if you're the sniper, you take the Venn diagram of the 2 banana breads and see who was in for both, potentially. Or either, rather.
I
And
think
yeah.
OpiWrites just realized he had literally everyone highlighted.
Yep, so at that point, neutralite everyone. These are all the people, all non-lowlights could have done the banana bread. I'm going to focus on Rocker, and there's a mission win pending there.
There's the delegate on the table.
And Teal's going to take it. And Opie's watching. The question is, did he see who delegated?
I think it's Hair. I think it's Hair who's...
Oh, you're right. It's a lowlight.
It expired!
So close!
Passing up the statue! OpiWrites is on top of things. And now he's found a lead.
Yeah, that's very significant. Opie could obviously easily win this next game anyway. Jeez. What I find very interesting is that even before the timer expired, I think he made up his mind to go to statues. I think he realized it was going to just miss.
Yeah, I think so.
And Opie was on both of them. And Opie has looked very comfortable in both of these sniper games. He has looked really in control of both parties.
Absolutely. Some very impressive business coming out of Opie so far. Let's see if Lazybear can answer back. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. No swap, no inspect. And nothing getting done in the early stages of the party. Definitely eyeing up the seduction target here. Has a chance to try to open up that flirt. I might have lost warning track for a second here.
Yep, he is on. Oh, here he is.
Sorry about that.
Welcome
Sorry,
back.
little audio issues. Very interesting, though, that Lazybear picks Terrace, and it fits his playstyle. On paper, it makes sense as a pick. But Opie has just looked very, very comfortable on it. So fair to say, already he's guaranteed at least a split. I think that pick has backfired just a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. 34% on the first flirt, in conversation with the double agent. Just waiting for more people to file into conversations before he pull the trigger on it. It doesn't look like it's happening.
Well, it's not a big deal until the seduction target leaves, so we can stay here all day.
This
Yeah,
is true.
suddenly it's a huge deal.
Look at everybody who's not talking to people.
The not talking is deafening.
Well, wall is the same volume either way. There's the second flirt coming off on the timer, up to 68% on the second white. Double agent bails before the seduction target does. He got tired of waiting around as well.
That's a great point. If there were only one conversation, say it's balcony, and there's a no talk, what if the walla went off? So it'd be unmistakable.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying, if you want the game to be fully immersive,
1 minute to play now, not a single mission completion to speak of. Not even that much progress, no fingerprint, no nothing. Just 2 white flirts.
and normally I say, big deal, Terrace, a lot of options, but we are running low on time here, and it really feels like he's just sort of selling out on, hey, AIs, act a little crazy, make Lazybear shoot you.
Yeah, well, they're not hanging out in
the red.
conversations. There's the fake contact. It had to happen sooner or later. 30 seconds to play now.
And I just don't see what the plan is here.
Banana bread.
Another contact comes off, this one real. Lets off a single low light. There's the flirt coming off. But we only have 10 seconds.
Bug.
There's the bug coming
Invisible.
off.
Not visible.
Completely invisible. One of the best bugs I've seen under fire. Almost takes the shot anyways, but holds the trigger, and OpiWrites. From 3-1 down to 3-5 up.
Wow, and that is just pure opportunism. Obviously, you want to give credit for the bug, it's great, but on the other hand, how often, when the clock is winding down and you're low on missions like that and you need something, does the AMBA just turn their back to you at the front to make that bug even possible? It's a great bug.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a great bug, but the party just handed it to him. To make that even possible is ridiculous. And the fact that right when it happened there, it was just close enough to make Lazybear think maybe I'm going to get overtime, I think, and maybe hold the shot. They obviously thought about that shot.
Yeah, I think so, but
Oh,
man, the amount of stuff that had to line up for that.
Yes.
Very rarely is the sniper taking that angle on the party. Usually they're at a little bit farther to the left. That
Right.
would have destroyed the bug.
Right.
Had the AMBA got anywhere else, that would have destroyed the bug. in any other situation, that's a desperation bug and you get shot, but it just worked out so beautifully.
Yeah, Lazybear played that right for the most part, and they were just waiting him out all game, and they were ready to force the timeout and showing tremendous patience, and then things lined up just right at just the right moment. Opie pounces on it and scores a huge win.
A huge series of wins, actually just straight up sweeps Terrace after going down in the first map. Now he's got a lead to work with as we step into 2 games on Library, starting with Lazybear on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And this is where a spy like Lazybear can actually really thrive, because I mentioned clock usage, time adds, framing, giving yourself not trying to rush and finish missions.
Your hand is visible, Lazybear. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Why though?
I don't know. But Library plays into that sort of spy style really well, because there's so much that can happen off screen, and you're very paranoid, and there's a lot of sneaky time adds, and it's really hard to be confident if you don't see the time ad on screen, to even narrow down the party effectively sometimes with any real
Also,
confidence.
apparently, a lot of hiding behind pillars and pretending you don't exist.
There is a lot of hiding behind pillars, yes. So this is the kind
A
of
lot of hiding behind pillars.
So the question is, if you don't do this to microfilm or purloin or whatever,
What's happening?
the plan is just to kind of not be on screen, not be seen, maybe, right? Forget they exist.
Oh god, the time ads.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense to me, and that fits perfectly with what I was saying about Lazybear and the way they like to play spy. This
Looks
is a
like you
little.
might have gotten caught there for a second, but wound up not actually.
Yeah, that was a little more on brand.
And just to mention, my assumption about him hiding behind that pillar was he was hoping the ambassador would walk in his direction, so he can do like a behind the pillar bug cheese. But
Well,
the ambassador walked the other way.
Yeah, the ambassador doesn't always do exactly what the spy wants, unfortunately. That was the last game.
Well, there's a lot of time all on the clock, but about a third of the party gone from the time ads as well.
Yeah, Opie has managed to narrow this down a bit, and that's pretty good. Lazybear's probably still going to have to do a little more. But on the spy clock, we still have about 5 minutes.
That's a lot of minutes, Track.
It's more than you normally get on Library, and probably more than you need.
Well,
This is an endurance game now. This is a patience game now.
and
This is about
Lazybear
stamina.
clearly knows it.
Yeah, look, he's called Lazybear for a reason. He does spend a lot of time not doing anything. This is all about mental stamina now for Opie. And that's hard because Opie usually shoots. He usually shoots the spy, too. He's a good sniper. But more often than not, Opie shoots. He's a very aggressive spy and a very aggressive sniper. So this is going to test that.
Stepping into conversation with the double agent, has plenty of time to wait for the conversations to fill up.
And we talked about, various ways that losses can be demoralizing, getting shot for maybe a couple of soft tails, a flirt, something like that. One other thing that can be really demoralizing is putting the sniper to the test with 5 or 6 minutes and having them hold their shot.
That's true.
That can hurt.
Yeah. Picking up a fingerprint off of the yellow bookcase. We'll see what Lazybear decides to do with this book. Just puts it away innocently. Plenty of time for moves like that. I'm a little bit surprised you checked the watch while the time dilation was still going.
Yeah, that's a little strange. You feel like, why invite that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're thinking at this point, I'm very confident that my opponent has noticed for quite a while anyway, so it's counterintuitive enough to work for me, but again, down to the Yomi mind games.
Hard to say. Close green flirt, but not quite close enough to finish it up. We're at 93% now. One fingerprint in pocket, and just under 3 minutes.
Just under 3 minutes, and it's been about 3 minutes, too.
Yeah.
This is how you get over 100% clock usage. It's not what Lazybear wasn't last season, but this is how it happens, in case you were wondering.
I think he's just timer flirting.
I mean, why not? He's got all the time in the world.
I don't know. Under 230 now. This is still a 5-mission map. The flirt is done now, true, but you've got some moves to make.
Yeah, he's definitely spending that time. And I mentioned Lazybear liked Fingerprint and Purloin. He's got the one fingerprint already, and I think he's decided, you know what? 4+ minutes have passed. Maybe I need to finish missions.
1 cycles for 1 inspect. That is an odd choice.
Yeah, knowing Lazybear, he's going to want to look for a fingerprint, and he's probably going to want a green Purloin towards another mission site, get a few things going at once.
Under 1 minute and 45 now. Still just the 1 completion, but we're starting to get some progress.
Ambassador's not obliging right now. And remember, if Opie gets the win here, guaranteed at least a draw, and that really keeps his hope alive.
Hanging out in innocent conversation right now is going to cross paths with the Ambassador, but 2 relatively fast characters, no chance for the double walking bug. Are we just straight up not... I think we're just not doing missions right now. As I say it, back into statues we go for the pair of inspects. 1 minute on the clock.
Yeah, and that was a short path and a really quick pickup time, too. I almost wondered if he was trying to rush a swap or something, but obviously not.
The shot comes off either way!
Paranoid about the swap. Yep. Wow. Worried about the swap.
That was a phantom swap?
No, I think he realized a swap could be taking place and probably just a much bigger suspect for the time ad. Just camping him really hard there the whole game, and probably shoots at the first moment he could even plausibly be done.
Yeah, I think you're
Like,
probably
plausibly.
right.
So, like, I say plausibly, right? Even if you're watching someone very closely, there are a couple things you have to say, well, maybe I wouldn't notice if they'd done seduce. Maybe I'll miss a fingerprint. Maybe they'll hit some difficulties. Maybe I miss a bug, right? But if a swap hasn't happened, they haven't even taken a book, and Purloin is still there, then when is the first point they could conceivably be done, even assuming you missed all sorts of stuff? And it's basically right there. So that the timing of the shot says, time ad, so the second they could plausibly be done, I shoot, and they do. And now Opie's going to get at least a point.
Yeah, Opie is in there with 3 match points. And Lazybear, after a great start, now finds himself with a bit of a mountain to climb against OpiWrites, who currently controls the summit. Let's see if he can make a start of things from the sniper side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, when you're sitting at the top of the summit, you could just chuck things down at people trying to make the climb. It's a good position to be in, even as Spy.
And you only need 1 to connect.
Yeah, just 1. Really wants this flirt, my goodness. Chases them all the way across.
And he's going to get it, but it's only white for 34%.
That was basically the far left corner towards almost the far right corner. That was quite a walk.
Yeah.
Gotta get those steps in, General.
I don't think the General is the man you have to tell that to.
No,
Seems like he's still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, he's probably retired at this point, but you're right. He's looks very fit.
Slow start, though. All the way across the party to chat up the section target, and then almost all the way back to an innocent conversation. Now looks like he's staring down the blue books. What does he do with this? There's not much going on over here. Hits a green transfer while Lazybear's looking away. He does glance over for a moment, but it's brief enough that he's not able to see anything. We now have blue microfilm in pocket.
Yeah, he was just swinging back and forth. And General does have a lot of pockets to keep that microfilm in, too.
This is true.
That microfilm could be in any pocket. Who knows?
All the way back across the party once more for a second flirt. This one green and brings us up to 83%.
Just walks all the way away. Left, right, left, right, left. That's what I'm hearing in my head every time he goes across library.
Only you.
Only me. I just make up these little stories for the characters. You know, I have so much headcanon on these characters by now.
You know, I definitely believe it.
Yeah.
Bug? Not yet.
And the end of red.
Lazybear's really worried about it.
Contact has come off. Pretty nice contact, too. Now bug? Now bug.
That
Beautiful delay. Wait until
Yes.
Lazybear steps away to start lighting, and then the arm comes out. Very good stuff from OpiWrites. The timing was flawless as we step in to the yellow bookcase.
Lazybear was staring at it, and then he did a fake look away, where he looked away and whipped immediately back, almost like baiting it. It didn't happen then. He waited 2 or 3 more seconds after that. Lazybear did a little move to the left that was actually genuine and indicative of their actual eye movement, I think. You're right, that was the little 5-second delay. Do something after it feels like the sniper has the all clear.
Pulls out the yellow book, goes to finish the flirt, now has yellow book in hand and blue microfilm in pocket.
Yeah, very solid. But this is going to be a big moment of truth. OpiWrites is playing a really solid game, and he seems way ahead. But if he gets caught for this, he can lose it all.
Indeed, here's the return. Lazybear looks like he's paying attention.
Yeah, he's very worried about this microfilm. He's not looking away much.
Definitely hanging out. There it is. There's the white desk. There's the head turn. And there's Lazybear staying alive.
I don't know if it was going to matter because he was staring there at General for quite a while there, but the ambassador is right next to you and the tray is on that side. So that is just not the time to do that, even if you're not already a highlight, which we were.
Man, OpiWrites played a heck of a spy game, though. Lazybear just caught him on it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was making a lot of good progress, but the highlight is nice. And again, just there's no reason for the sniper not to be staring at that area.
And now, the moment of truth. We step into gallery, Lazybear opening up on the spy side. If he wins this, all he needs to do is snipe for the victory, which is easier said than done against Opie, but very, very doable. Let's see if he can make it happen from the spy side to give himself that chance in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Lazybear only played gallery a few times last year. Four times a sniper, 4 times a spy, but he won 3 out of 4 in both. On sniper, that's not too crazy, although it's pretty good. On spy, it's really good.
Let's see if he can keep it going. Isn't able to get to the flirt in time.
And again, keep an eye out for fingerprints here. That's what Lazybear likes, and it's a good fit for gallery anyway. But he also likes to waste time, and that's a little too easy to do on gallery.
This is true. Chasing down the flirt, doesn't want to waste these precious seconds. He steps in for a close white for 34%. Under 3 minutes. In conversation with the double agent, not anymore, as she steps away. It would have been a great time for it, but unfortunately, she has other things on her mind, like reading.
Don't you know you're supposed to contact a spy at this party?
I mean, maybe she doesn't.
That's true. Maybe they just say at some point in the next week...
Green purloin! Green purloin from the back of the conversation! Lazybear now stepping all the way out, trying to create some distance.
Let's see who takes, and Lazybear's going to be looking too. It's going to be Sorry, and that fade is
That
actually
was a
pretty
fast
visible.
fade.
That was a surprisingly visible fade for gallery.
Yeah, you could see it. It was pretty clear. Still highlight Sorry because it's hard to be certain, but I don't know just how much information he's going to get on this. Highlights, not so much, but definitely lots of lowlights. Has like a third of the party loaded at this point.
It is much easier on gallery in particular to be confident about people on the entire side of the map not being able to purloin. You very often feel confident saying everybody outside could not have done it. In this case,
Who doesn't
that's
go
a
outside?
Yeah. No, but people who have to run outside afterwards. Even on a green, the spy will likes to run outside afterwards, and if it's a green and the purloin hangs, it usually works, and it'll very often get you a low light, but very often it's hard for you to get outside in time. So by the time you notice the purloin, if it hasn't hung on too long, you can normally very safely say, I don't think it could have been any of these people.
That is very true. Lazybear in a powerful position now, but has the clock against him. Minute and 20 seconds now, and Seduction Target is not having it.
Yeah, and even with the purloin now, we're running low on time, but when the purloin is gone on gallery, there's a decent chance a shot's gonna come off.
You might just take a contact here. Oh boy.
I mean, we kind of missed a pad, but Opie was looking down at the Ambassador trying to protect it, and it kind of looked like a redirect from the corner of the eye, so I don't know if that's a big problem. That knocks out Sorry. That's a big one.
Comes off. It was a pretty good one. There's the shot. And ladies and gentlemen, we have brought ourselves to the last game of the set. If Lazybear wins this, he finally secures himself a point against OpiWrites. If Opie wins this, he takes home the set.
Wow. For what it's worth, Cowboy was the one next to Wheels when he rejected. So he had probably a general proximity thing. These are people in the general area. Maybe you're not sure who rejected. Maybe you just remember he was there, and it pays off in the end. One more game.
It wasn't looking good. Actually, it was like, man, this has been a whirlwind of a match. But it was looking grim for Lazybear for a little while, and he has brought it right on back. We've got one more to go, and it's OpiWrites Spy on Gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And OpiWrites, in my experience, pretty darn good on Gallery. I would say an above-average venue for him.
Well, looks like he's heading back to the conversation to open things up. Not too many people in there with them, but plenty of potential as people start stepping away from their early pads. Even the seduction target drops in to say hi.
And Opie, these last couple games, I don't know if it's the result of some of those earlier shots or not, but he's been playing much more cautiously, much slower as Spy.
First flirt comes in for 32%, and everybody immediately leaves. Sorry, Opie.
What did they say?
I don't know.
Something offensive, perhaps.
Well, seduction target has come back, so
Couldn't have been that bad.
couldn't have been that bad. Second flirt, this one green for 76%. And getting some free flirt progress is huge on this map because it's not an easy mission to get done.
Really, the question is, Opie go right back in. They've done this, I think, 2 or 3 times already this set. Flirted, walked away, sipped a drink, come right back and flirted again. They just tried it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
now the seduction target's mad.
There we go. Fair enough. Opie's done that. That's the 3rd time this set Opie's done that, though. Just walk away from a flirt, come right back and flirt again.
2 minutes left to play now. No completions yet, but lots of flirt progress to work with. Contact is coming off. There's the first mission completion.
And the red.
6 hard lowlights at least.
A lot of lowlights.
Let's see how many they get. Does not take Seek, I don't think, because they're near a conversation and could have split. Wow, gets quite a few, gets a good chunk of those. Lazybear responds very well to the banana bread, and the party is way narrowed down now.
Yeah, half the party gone as we step back out in front to finish this flirt. Under a minute and a half. Flirt is indeed finished. Minute and 15 now to play.
And there's no fingerprint, and there have been no statue visits. I think Opie is going to have trouble finishing here.
It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. But we've still got some time to work with, especially if we can find some way to make a bug happen.
I think it's going to be, there's going to be a little paranoia if one of these statue highlights goes a second time, but I don't think it's happened yet. I don't think anyone's completed inspects.
It's not a great position for the purloin either. 45 seconds now, time is running out. We might have to just take this. And indeed he does, but it's a green test after a couple of rejects.
Super quick reject, though. Super quick. That itself is suspicious if you're watching. Let's see how Lazybear reacts.
Into the statues.
Still going.
This is not the one I would have picked, but it's a white swap. Lazybear's staring it down. Does he know? Still no purloin. Now he sees the swap has come off. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Still no purloin. Take the drink. He takes the drink.
Wow.
This could be huge.
Oh my
Mission
goodness!
win pending. We're hanging at 0. There's the take. There's the fade. OpiWrites in dramatic fashion closes it out in the last possible seconds.
In an insane move, I gotta say, I think there's one move I don't get and one that's just brilliant. Taking the drink is great. It's so great. It takes the focus off you. They're looking for somebody else. But the swap is so risky because there's every reason in the world, even with inspects not done, for Lazybear to see the swap and shoot potentially.
Yeah.
And you're still waiting on the pending. I don't think the swap really makes any sense. I think it was so counterintuitive and weird and it worked anyway. Obviously, the drink take is brilliant, but the swap makes no sense to me and somehow it works.
To be honest, I don't know how I feel about that drink take though, because I mean, if Lazybear was on it, that would have guaranteed that it was a green, green purloin, and that the last Alice taking a drink would have 100% confirmed.
This is gallery though. It is not easy to see those fades more often.
It's going to depend almost entirely on how
it's not about
fade is, right?
I mean, not about the fade. It's just because because there was a 0-0 hanging, it basically had to be a purloin pending.
Right. Well, that's why he took it, I think, because he's trying to rule out the purloin pending. Right. So that's the idea.
Green time ad.
Yeah.
Right. But he's narrowing it down a little bit. He's trying to rule out the purloin as the cause of the overtime so that he'll look at something else.
Yeah.
I can't wait to ask Opie sometime later, what's up with the swap? What was the thinking there? Because, if you go green purloin, green swap, that's just chaos and I love it. And sometimes you have both pending at once. But the drink take obviously is the difference at the end. And Lazybear, when you look back at this whole set, first of all, it's a tough loss. Certainly, losing 7-5 because, as I mentioned earlier, 7-5 and 7-0. Unfortunately, for it's the same thing. But he played really well. He had so many games, Lazybear did as sniper, where he was patient and held his shot, and Opie got those mission wins under the wire in atypical fashion. Multiple spy wins came that way, and that was the difference between 2 points and none. And that puts Opie in a very solid position to maybe catch Wodar for that final spot in gold.
My only question is, what did he think Mom did to get missions pending?
Yeah,
clearly it was assumed Florida at the end, but
you gotta take a shot on someone.
But that's part of it. Green Flirt does not.
Yeah, it's a couple things. There was a late statue visit, and then almost exactly at 10 seconds, she collides with the ambassador.
Yeah.
It happens almost exactly at 10 seconds.
Got a green bug, so somebody else went and did the bug.
Green bug, right. I mean, the bump with the ambassador is actually kind of crazy. I think it happened basically exactly at 10, so you would have expected, very little overtime. But if you're primed already, the second you hear it, you're shooting. Also, it's just overtime beeps. Like, I'm not going to give anyone any crap for an overtime shot.
Shoot the closest low light.
Or low light, or in this case, highlight out for
Yep.
anyone doing anything, anyone at a mission site. You can justify any of those shots when the overtime beeps start.
Shoot the nearest orange, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And because of the purloin, I think it was just weird enough. You just figure mentally you're ruling that person out, so you're going to shoot someone else. And at that point, you might as well take the Hail Mary shot. Unfortunately, it's just on the wrong person.
All right. Anyway, oops, loading next game. We're not doing that because that was the last game.
Yeah. And huge win for Opie. It really is.
Yeah.
It's going to put him in a position, like I said, to maybe make the finals. It's not over yet, right? He's really going to need to beat Wodar next time after losing to him early in week 1, actually, as a matter of fact. And he'll have a chance at revenge, but this win opens it up.
Yep. All right, and that's the cast. Do we have anything to plug, like the game that we're casting, SpyParty? You can buy it over at SpyParty.com, I believe, and Steam. $25. It's an awesome game. And you can get, I believe you can get in on this tournament still. Is that a thing we're doing this season?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
The Challenger division is designed specifically for that.
Yep. All right, and thank you to Bochi and Winning Track.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a great time. We'll see y'all again next Sunday, 10 p.m. Pacific, I believe, or did we? Yeah, that's right? We moved it forward an hour.
Saturday, yeah, to account for the daylight savings time switch in the EU. We've moved it an hour earlier to accommodate for everyone, and that'll be the norm going forward.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see y'all then. And good luck in your matches this week, and goodbye.